Shalom. Ka'alayim la Yahweh Bashem, Yahawashi Bashem, or Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who still rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing his word in humility and sincerity as commanded by Yahweh Bahashem, Yahawashi. Lord willing, this to be a quick and edifying, kind of like a testimony lesson. And pretty much this is an image that I took while I was at the emergency room, okay, with my son, my youngest son, who is 2 years old, so he's like a, I guess he's like a toddler. He's not an infant, he's like a toddler. But long story short, he had a fever and he ended up having a seizure, and so like I wasn't there, my wife was there, my other children, so I had to rush home. It's a chaotic scene or whatever. So then we get to the emergency room and we're walking down the aisle and they put us in this room. I said, I know we're not going to room 44. Because, the whole time we praying to Yahawashi, you know what I'm saying? When things happen, when, like they say, life comes at you fast, we ain't calling on State Farm or however the commercial and the phrase went. We're calling on Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi. My wife said that my sons was praying to Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi while she was on the phone with the operator. So, it was very spiritual, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm doing a testimony, because they put us in room 44. And then as I look across the hall, I see door 41. So it looks as though it says 4441, or actually 444441. You see? So I'm like, damn. Call Allah, I'm like, how about you shot? And that's comforting to us, you know what I'm saying? Like I told the brothers, in the chat, like that's comforting to us when the Lord shows us signs in the time of trouble. The Lord said that I am with you, lo, I am with you always to the end of the world. And this is, let me get a precept. And, like the elder in my camp, the elder head brother, Yaya, in my camp said, that's just that's an unclean spirit. That's actually a demon, what I'm saying, that causes seizures and, convulsions and things of that nature. This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. You see, so in times of trouble, what do? We're not making haste to, curse the Most High or, lose all hope or fall out on the floor. We have set our heart aright. The brother showed me a beautiful precept. I'm about to read it because, this is a beautiful precept. This is the brother Yabu Khan showed me this precept. Psalms 112, verse 7. He shall not, I'm going to start at verse 6. Surely he shall not be moved forever. The righteous shall be in everlasting remembrance. He shall not be afraid of evil tidings. His heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. It says his heart, what's the Hebrew word for heart? Lab. It says his heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord. Matter of fact, I got to go to that word fixed in the Hebrew. It says his heart is fixed on the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. He shall not be afraid. La'ah ya'ar, or yaya ra'ah. Yaya ra'ah. That's the word. He shall be afraid, or he shall afraid. Yaya ra'ah. And then it says fixed. The word for fixed is kana one. Wait, no. Nakawan, Salakia. Nakawan, which says to be firm, be stable, be established. Right. It says the elect, Lord willing, we are part of that number. It said that their feet shall not be moved because it was founded upon a rock, roughly paraphrasing what Yahawashi said. He said that when the winds came and the floods and the rain came and it beat upon the house, what's the house? The word body. The body comes from the Latin word bode, which means house or abode. So your house, the house is really talking about the vessel. It said when the rains came, the winds came and beat upon that house, it fell not because it was founded upon a rock. It had a sturdy foundation. The fundamentals of that man's mental capacity was sturdy, because the fundamentals of that man's mental capacity is based upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. It says to set up, be established, be fixed, be established firmly. To be fixed, to be securely determined. To be securely determined that you're trusting in the Lord. It says to be directed aright, be fixed aright. So even if you're being directed, because the Lord said a man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord direct his steps. So even if the Lord is directing your steps in a way, or taking your life or a situation in a way that you didn't expect it, you gotta be trusting the Lord, fixed on the Lord, to know the Lord. So getting excited. Have your heart trust in the Lord, to know that the Lord is guiding your steps, even when the steps is going somewhere where you don't want to go. That's what I was trying to say the whole time. Now this is back to Sirach 2. I'm just gonna read a couple precepts, and then I wanna, because the elder brother, he made a statement. He said he told me that it was an unclean spirit, which we know those things, but brothers can still remind you, because in the moment you forget. Emotions cloud judgment. So that's why we have to keep our composure in times like that. You know what I'm saying? Because then we're able to think clearly. So it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave, Sirach, that was Sirach 2:2. This is Sirach 2, verse 3. It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Because it's not about the current situation. It's about the last end. Who's going to be saved? It says, verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Right? It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So acceptable men will be tried in the furnace of adversity, and the Lord is going to try you through all of the things that's around you. All of the things that you're connected to and tied to in this world, whether it's by responsibility, because really that's the only things that we really tied to is, children or family, and that's by, that's because that's what the Lord told us to be tied to if we have it. But other than that, we detach from everything else, and we will detach from family and all of that too, if the Spirit of the Lord has it happen. It says here in Sirach 2:6, believe in him and he will help thee, and order thy way aright, and trust in him. So yeah, that's it. And that unclean spirit, you put the anointing prayer on them, and that unclean spirit, has to go, if it be the Lord's will. But just to prove that that's a demon or unclean spirit, this is Saint Mark, because the statement that the elder brother made was, I wish Yahawashi was here. He said, I wish Yahawashi was physically here with us, because he would have been healed immediately. And I was thinking on him that, and that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly how it's going to be. When Yahawashi when Yahawashi is physically here with us, the elect will be changed immediately. It said in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, we all going to be healed. Yahawashi said, at least they should hear with their heart, and at least they should hear with their ears and see with their eyes and be converted and be healed. So the elect, they're going to get healing immediately when Yahawashi returns. Like I said, if Yahawashi, the elder brother said, if Yahawashi, I wish Yahawashi was here with us physically, because he would have been healed immediately. And that's another thing, when you're going through these things, it requires patience. That's what the Lord said, in your patience possess ye your souls. Because, we can trust that the Lord is going to get us through it, but we don't even want to really go through it. But we know the Lord is going to get us through it, but we like, damn, we don't want to go through it. We want it to be over immediately. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. So long story short, it's really a long story, but I'm not going to go too deep in details. But, they gave him the Tylenol medicine. The fever went down. It went down like 6 degrees. His temperature was 103.4. You know what I'm saying? That's very high. And then it went down to 97.7 in 30 to 40 minutes when they gave him the whatever Tylenol they had. Now before that, the Edomite tried the doctor, because these Edomites, these doctors, the Lord said they are physicians. Let me get that. These doctors, they come in a room and they think that they're in control. You're not in control. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do that. No, you're not gonna do nothing. This is Job 13 verse 4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value." Right, and like the Apostle Tahar, you may say, well, you went to the hospital. Yeah, because Esau is good. Esau is good for trauma. Esau is good for trauma type of medical situations. Esau is not good for if, you got a stomach virus or you want to get your blood pressure down. He's not good for lifestyle health. He's only good for trauma, emergency situations. If you get shot, you want to get patched up, yeah, you go to Esau. Other than that, you don't listen to shit he got to say. This is 1 Corinthians 15. Because like I said, the Edomite doctor, he came in there. They wanted to give him the, like I said, I can't say too much because I already know the YouTube. But they wanted to put the thing up his nose, to check for the V, the CVD, and some other diseases. I want to check for the other diseases. So then if I check and it's one of those other sicknesses, let me stop saying diseases. If I check for and it's one of those other sicknesses, then I'll know that it's not meningitis. So I get to researching meningitis. Meningitis is super rare. I'm like, does meningitis even cause seizures, man? And then what type of seizures is it? Does meningitis cause seizures when you get a fever? Does meningitis cause seizures, just if you're just walking down the street, like you just get random seizures driving? Like what are the real symptoms, man? These doctors, they're liars, man. And he was mad that I didn't want to do the thing up his nose. And like I said, he probably wanted the temperature to stay up, so he'd have an excuse to do that. And so I said, let me examine the Q-tip or whatever that you want to stick up his nose. I examined it. I'm like, man, I'm not doing this. It looks like a normal Q-tip, but it's called nanoparticles. Nano meaning what? Extremely, extremely small. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 52. 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, that's immediately. Immediately when Yahawashi get back, we will be healed. It says, in that, how we going to be healed? We're going to get completely new bodies. Let's read it. It says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Right. So the dead is going to be raised incorruptible because they're going to get new bodies. Verse 53, it says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, that's the Lord talking about him giving us immortal bodies. That's what that means. It says, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory. Right. Death is going to be swallowed up in victory, man. And the victor is going to be Yahawashi HaMashiach. Well, the victor is Yahawashi HaMashiach. He already died and did what he had to do. This is Malachi 4, verse 2. It says, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings." Right? So Yahawashi, if he was here and he touched my son, he would be healed immediately. When Yahawashi comes back with Michael and the archangels, the other angels, to deliver the Lord's elect from the four corners of the earth, like it says in Matthew 24, he's going to heal the elect immediately, in the twinkling of an eye. Matter of fact, if we go to the etymology of that word immediately, it says without intervening time or space. Without intervening time or space. So this thing is going to be done so quick, there's not going to be any time in between it being done. It's going to happen so fast that not even a second or a millisecond is going to go by. Immediately. Immediately is really, a measurement of immediately is really so minute that you can't even measure it, because it says it without intervening time or space, directly. It says without delay, instant. And if I just typed in the word, let me not get too loud, but I just typed in the word immediately, right? Because I was meditating on that word immediately, because that's true. If Yahawashi was physically here with us, he would be healed immediately, And Yahawashi is here with us in spirit. And when Yahawashi does physically get here, we will be healed immediately. So I'm going to read a couple of these. Matthew 8, verse 3. "And Yahawashi put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed." Matthew 14. Let's go to this one. Matthew 20, verse 34. "So Yahawashi had compassion on them and touched their eyes, and immediately their eyes received sight, and they followed him." Mark, beautiful. Right, because my son, he had a fever. Peter, I believe Peter's mother, this is Peter's mother, she had a fever. This is, Slakia. Simon's wife. Yeah, Simon, his wife, not his mother. So Peter's wife. This is Mark 1, verse 29. "And forthwith, when they were come out of the synagogue, they entered into the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. But Simon's wife, Simon's wife's mother." So it was Simon's wife's mother. Who was Simon? Peter. So Peter's wife's mother lay sick of a fever, and anon they tell him of her. So let me get this word fever in the Greek.
Strong's G 4445. Pureso.
Pureso. It says to be sick with a fever. To be on fire, right? Because a fever makes your body hot, makes your body on fire. So they say he had what's called a cerebral seizure, or ferevic, some fever, basically a fever seizure, and they say it's pretty common for children, as long as you don't have, repeated seizures, once the fever goes down. But it's the spirit of the Lord. Like I told my sons, whether it's bad or whether it's good, it's Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. Period. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the Lord God, Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi of Israel. It says to be on fire, i.e. especially to have a fever, be sick of a fever. So go back. Simon's wife's mother lay sick of a fever, and anon they tell him of her. And he came and took her by the hand and lifted her up, and immediately the fever left her, and she ministered unto them. As soon as he touched her hand, the fever left her, and she started to serve them plates and serve them drinks. This is, I typed in fever. I meant to type in immediately again. Let's type in immediately. This is Mark chapter 10, verse 52. And Yahawashi said unto him, Go thy way, thy faith hath made thee whole. Right, so it's like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, it was neither malifying plaster nor herb that restored them to health, but thy word that healeth all things. Let me get that one. Who is the word? Who is the word? The word is not a thing. It's a person. Shoot. I hate this Bible because you gotta substitute your U's for V's and hold on. Herbs. Word. Con. Yahawashi. Wisdom of Solomon 16 verse 12. For it was neither herb nor malifying plaster that restored them to health. It's not, the power is not in the herb. The power is not in the ointment. It said that restored them to health. But thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. So that's what's doing the healing. And the word became flesh. It tells you that in St. John, the 1st chapter, the word became flesh. How? When Yahawashi came on the earth. St. Luke 4:39, and he stood over her. This is the same account of Peter's wife's mother with the fever. And he stood over her and rebuked the fever, and it left her, and immediately she arose and ministered unto them. So he ain't just touch her hand, he also rebuked the spirit when he touched her hand. Then it says here in Luke chapter 5 verse 13, he put forth his hand and touched him, saying, Be thou clean. And immediately the leprosy departed from him. So you get the point. Immediately upon Yahawashi's physical presence, physical presence on the earth, the elect are going to be healed. And I'm going to close with this one because the seizures, that's also in the scriptures. Like I said, that's an unclean spirit. I was supposed to go to this one, Salakia. This is St. Mark chapter 9. Now this man's son was having he had like an extreme case of seizures. The Lord willing, my son's situation is not nearly as serious as this. And this is why it's important. Apostles have been pushing diet and mainly diet, you know what I'm saying? The apostles have been pushing that lately. Apostles have been even doing detoxes and stuff like that because that's one of the main things that Esau uses to destroy us is the food. It says now the best diet would be what? The ideal diet, if you had all the money in the world to buy everything and all the discipline in the world to eat everything right, you would be eating mainly fruits, vegetables, nuts, different type of nuts, different type of seeds, fruits and vegetables. That would be your main diet. Then maybe once a week you might eat some lamb or some fish. But even then, like I said, it was neither herb nor malifying plaster that restored them health. So even if you got the perfect diet, you see it all the time. These people, fitness gurus, they dropping dead. Well, how's the fitness? He had the perfect diet. He had the perfect this. It don't matter. If the Lord wants you going, you're going to get going. This is Mark 9 and verse 17. And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which have a dumb spirit, and whereof, it's like it, and wheresoever he taketh him, meaning he the demon, it says he teareth him, and he foameth and gnasheth with his teeth and pineth away. So like I said, that's an extreme case of violent seizures. It says, and I spake to thy disciple that they should cast him out, and they could not. You see? Let me read it in the NLT. It says, Mark chapter 9, verse 17 in the NLT. One of the men in the crowd stood up and said, Teacher, I brought my son so you could heal him. He is possessed by an evil spirit that won't let him talk. Right? So like I said, he had an extreme, what do they call it? Epilepsy. It's like an extreme case of epilepsy where he won't even speak. I don't know what the medical term would be for this condition today. You know what I'm saying? But if you judge by the symptoms, you'll be able to form some type of conclusion of what Esau calls it today. But like I said, he's a physician of no value. See, because if Esau was spiritual, if Esau was righteous, if he was the people of Jesus, if they were the same nation as Jesus, then you would go to the hospital, and first of all, you wouldn't get a bill. It'd be free. It'd be hospitable. Then second of all, you would go to the hospital, and you would get an anointing. You would get prayers. You would get herbs. You see, but what do